She knows exactly what she knows.
And then I shared it. And I knew he wasn't the guy. You see, for specific nights in Big house, we are not supposed to be sleeping. And I think I slept I slept, not slept. I slept Slipped. I slept a little bit last night, but then I still got a hang of it, right? I still got to meet up because how does a group of boys gather just to have a conversation about one person? But of course, it's Big Brother's house, so these housemates don't have any connection with the outside world except themselves, so they would make do with what they have inside, and I love it for them. Apparently, the topic of the after party night was Tumi. Tumi allegedly has been moving from one girl to another, stealing kisses. This is the Tumi that was telling, I think, is it BUHLE B or Shia, that he was having sinuses, he would not be able to kiss anybody. I'm like, where for this night you don't kiss more than one. So apparently there was Michelle Offense, who is obviously like Tumi's challenger, and there was Lorido and Koki. They were talking about the fact that, Tumi's game is move from one place to another, make somebody fall for him. Michelle's narrative about Tumi's game was actually wrong, likening him to Sweet Guluva's game. Sweet Guluva did not move from one girl to another. If he spoke to a number of girls, maybe three, and then he settled with one, these games are totally different. Totally different. So I don't know where he was getting his own information from. Anyways, Cookie left there and went to go and tell this information to Liema and Dube, talking about how Tumi is just moving very sneakish for me. Like, since he has a good body, he looks good, he can get any and every girl. He doesn't know that he's just planting the wrong seeds, because we, the ladies, in quotes, she and some other ladies, they've clocked his game and it's not going to work. They're going to be girls to certain girls, and that's what it's going to be. Yeah. And even Liema confirmed it, saying that, nah, that's his game. He's a flirt. He's a total flirt. And the fact that he thinks he can get us, that it's just shocking. Maybe he has gotten other ladies, but not us, basically. And then she went on to say that she has noticed that it seems like Bosle B is too much for Tumi, and that's why he's also, throwing his eggs in other baskets. I'm like, oh, that makes sense actually, because if you guys see what has happened, if you guys see what has happened while that conversation was happening, Bert B was having a very cozy, serious, and somewhat intimate conversation with what's his name? With Offense, the head of house. According to her, she's been noticing him, and she went on to point out the fact that, you know what, I'm not intoxicated right now. Everything I'm saying from my mind, from my head. I know what I'm saying, and I'm in control of my body and myself. So don't think like this is just me talking from being intoxicated. I like a guy who is bold, standard, who can be a leader, who can protect, who can control, who owns his own narrative, not a guy who is shaking from one side to the other. Like, immediately she said this, I was like, oops. To me, you collected stray bullets that were actually directed at you, but you didn't know that they were directed at you. She went on saying that, and that's one thing she likes about Offense. She's not here trying to make this statement to offend anybody, but that's just what it is, right? And she is looking out for him. She's going to work on him. She's going to get him. I'm like, oh la la. The same guy you're talking about these things to, he is having the same thoughts towards you, because Offense was like, oh, I don't want to get into trouble. But when you first got into the house, your dress, you are a balanced package of good of the body and mind. And like Offense, the boy, using the words that the other ladies have clocked. If only but Lady did not restrict her friendship to just probably only Shia and one or two other ladies, she would have gotten the tea on the fact that Offense is playing a game. But it's also good to note that she said that, the both of them, they were playing a game and she's going to get her way. You get your way, he gets his way, everybody wins. But in the end, people would likely easily drag you as a lady than the man, because in quote, in the game of a man and a woman and related to intimacy, most times, no matter how it goes, people praise the man as the winner. This is just like a natural instinct thing because women are supposed to be more monogamous and all. However, this was just the beginning of the craze of the night, because on the flip side, we got to see that the bromance, the brotherhood between Offense and Laredo had a lot of shakes last night. Like after party, it was shaking and tickling. Now, prior to this time, somebody, I think Danny Jones had cried to somebody over being betrayed in relation to offenses, something like that, right? And then what's his name? Laredo was also very mad at Offense for, I think, something related to him flirting with either Ramona or with Trixie. Now, based off of what was going on, it has been agreed that Offense was done with Trixie, right? And maybe Laredo had interest. Yeah, I think Loretta had interest in either Trixie or Ramona, only for Offense to go and do something that I didn't get a hang of. Now, please pardon me if you know what exactly was the core part of the issue. You can lay that down in the comment section here. So while this happened, it pissed Laredo off, and Laredo was trying to tell what's his name, was trying to tell Offense about it, and like, this thing you're doing wasn't cool. But no, Offense stood on his own protocol, talking about how yes, he could do what he wanted to do, and it's not something that Laredo should take serious. This is just a game, people can play it the way they want to. And here was Laredo talking about you've gone around and kissed and done things with certain ladies, the likes of Danny Jones, with I think you tried to do with Liema, you've done with Trixie, you've done one another person. But here, Offense was literally indicating that all Ramona was just saying, or was it all Trixie was just saying, was all lie, adding extras and building it up to make him look like a bad person. At a point, whilst Laredo was listening to, Offense talk, when he would want to talk, just like when it happened between Thandika and Didi, Offense would, shut him down and tell him to listen. And then one time he made the statement of, it seems like you only just hear, you don't listen and understand before you speak. I was like, no, nah, that was him crossing a line. At that point, Laredo stood up. I was like, no, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. I would not listen. I would not calm down. What do you mean by waiting? This, that, like it was now something that was a thing of a public disrespect, insult, and somewhat of a humiliation. Because, like, why would you talk? But when it was now time for me to talk, you wouldn't want me to talk, and then you still say that I'm not listening, I'm not understanding, and all the nine yards. That was disrespectful. And at the point, seeing that it was escalating, what's his name? Offense had to pull him by the hand. They should go upstairs in the HOH lounge and have a conversation about this, because that situation was going to blow out of proportion. Seeing that Offense was not apologizing and fixing his issues and listening to Laredo for them to settle it. And of course, Laredo called him out on that bluff. But then again, another issue arose. Another GBAS was building up, because tell me why. See, let's just be honest, right? You see the situation of Trixie, Ramona, and a few other housemates, they were intoxicated. The alcohol was already taking hold. It has taken root, and it was bringing out both the funny, crazy, unexpected side of them and the bitter, angry side of them, because what happened between Trixie and Ramona. So basically, yeah, Trixie was giving a gist to Michelle, Liema, and maybe one other person about how Danny Jones is acting up or being dramatic, right? Over a man that has not dedicated his time to her, over a man that she's not even slept with. And this sort of pissed off Ramona. Now, what Trixie was saying was that why was Danny Jones crying over Offense or something, or was, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, over Offense or over Lorido, and the fact that, you know what, even when she herself was in a marriage, all her friends slept with her husband. That's why she doesn't like making a lot of female friends, because there's too much drama and things that are not meant to be happens. I'm like, Trixie, are you indirectly blasting yourself? Because if your girl told you she has interest in somebody else, and you've had an experience where a lady, your friend, did you bad in relation to your man, you should take that as an example and not do it, yeah? You get, but of course, she was standing on protocol of what she believes, what she understands, and what she feels is right. And at that point, I think Ramona was trying to defend Danny Jones or trying to call out Trixie's bluff, but Trixie was not taking it. They started mocking. They started mocking Ramona based off of the fact that she was just making loud noises like a cow or something. Like she was expressing herself, but it wasn't coming out fully clear. And even those upstairs, Liema, what's his name? Liema Koki, King Wanda, they were laughing. Michelle was downstairs laughing while Trixie was mocking Ramona. Ramona would also react and mock her too. But then things got out of hand when Ramona made a certain statement. Now, all this while, Trixie was pointing out the fact that she was joking and they were just laughing and having fun. Yeah, this is not something that should be deep. Basically, she's just trying to tell that the Danny Jones issue is not supposed to be deep. It's not supposed to be deeper than this. It's just what it is, yeah. And she was now telling Ramona to please just go to your bed and go and sleep. I don't have time. I don't want this back and forth and all the 9 yards. Only only for Ramona to, uh, throw her own heavy artillery when she made mention of you're having issues with your motherly instincts. Like there was something related to Trixie being a mom and losing her relationship and being engaged 2 or 3 times and all going sideways, and that was a heavy low blow, because I feel this is coming from a point of Trixie having to gist the T girls about issues with her marriage and stuff like that. And of course, Ramona had um, knowledge about this, but now throwing it there out in public and using it to insult and mock her was just unbelievable, unexpected, and actually very, very painful. I was disappointed because at this point, Trixie stood up and wanted to go downstairs to go and fight. While she was trying to go, we noticed what's his name? There was the Don and King Wanda. They held her so that no, don't go downstairs. She said no, she just wants to go and lie down, sleep. And we know it was going to cause if physical, that they were probably going to be physical. Ramona still stood on her bed and kept talking. I think it was now King Wanda who went downstairs to tell her to calm down. The thing she was saying was wrong and out of place. It was her doing the worst that should have been expected of this particular situation. While that was going on, what's her name? Trixie had broken down, crying, and being in her feelings. We got to see that Michelle was, comforting her. Even Lorido had to come downstairs to comfort her because the things literally just got out of hand. I'm like, it's just crazy. See, there's the major bad part about female friendships is the fact that when they fight, they always go below the belt. They start insulting the other with secrets that were said to them in confidence that it was not going to go out, and that's rather disappointing, especially for someone as elderly and as experienced as Ramona. Even Trixie is not spared in this my statement. She also did what she was not supposed to do. But then again, it is the game and we love to watch how it's played.